XS Manchester, this is the evening show. We've got another live session for you. This time it comes from the brilliant Andrew Cushin, who joins me virtually via a service station somewhere in England. How you doing, Andrew? You okay?
I'm not too bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. What's your service station snack of choice? Is it just a Costa? Do you go for a Scotch egg?
Oh, it's got to be either a Burger King or a KFC, mate, as well. And I've always got to go to a Costa because I feel like I'm one of them where if I have like a KFC or a Burger King, I'm normally really tired. Like, I can just fall asleep in the car. So I've got to have a turkey salad as well.
Just drop into a little bit of a food coma. It's great to have you on the XS Manchester Evening Show. You're a name that a lot of people will recognise from the tunes we've played before, but in terms of a name outside of the Northeast particularly, you'll be fairly new to a few people. It's only been 12 months or so that this has been the full-time gig for you, that you have been a musician. How does that feel? Has it sunk in yet? Does it still feel strange that when you kind of fill in a tax return on the job bit, you put musician?
For tax purposes, I shall always put in unemployed for starters. Um, if I'm being honest, mate, I mean, of course it hasn't sunk in. I've been able to do things in music in the space of 12 months that people haven't been able to do in their whole entire career. Do you know what I mean? Working with Noel Gallagher being one of them. But I feel like because everything's gone so quickly, me and Lee, we both haven't really had a chance to sit down and reflect on everything that's happened, which is, in some ways, is I suppose it's a good thing. I'm just enjoying the work and I'm enjoying the gigging. It's great so far. So hopefully long may it continue, I suppose.
I read an interview a little while ago where you were talking about when you were first offered the record deal and you were talking to the big bosses and they sat you down and said, right, what do you want? Do you remember what you said in response to that?
Of course I do. It was a genius response. I was actually sat with holes in the bottom of my trainers. I was kind of thinking, I just need more shoes. Yeah. So the woman, something to do with the A&R, I can't remember her name, bless her. And she went, so what's the one thing that you want to get from music? And I just want some more trainers, really. I'm pleased to say that I do have more trainers now.
What was it you got?
Oh, I think I went and bought about 5 pair Gazelle.
Nice.
I just went through like an assortment of different colours.
You mentioned Noel Gallagher. We are going to have to talk about Mr. Gallagher in a second, but I want to mention another artist first because being from the Northeast, you are going to get compared to Sam Fender. There is a correlation between what you and Sam Fender do, I think. Maybe not necessarily musically. You and him seem to share this trait of wanting to tackle issues that are deep-rooted in the community and that seem important to yourself and people in the Northeast. Do you think that is a Northeast thing, or is it just a coincidence that there's these two artists that have kind of risen up at similar times and have similar callings, I guess?
I think it's a working class thing, to be honest. I was brought up on a council estate. I know that Sam was brought up exactly the same. I've met Sam. We both share a lot of the same sort of ideas around different topics. I suppose the comparison's always going to be there. It's not a comparison that I'd like to shy away from. I think Sam's a brilliant artist. He's a lovely lad. But yeah, I suppose the topics that we're singing about, particularly, he spoke about men's mental health in a couple of his tracks. And I know that Memories, my latest single, obviously a big talking point from that song's obviously men's mental health as well. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think two people singing about topics close to people's hearts, I think that's better than one person singing about it. So but I don't necessarily think it's a Newcastle thing. I do think it's more of a council estate, working class upbringing.
We're going to hear a stripped back version of Memories in just a moment, but you've kindly recorded a cover version for us for our Manchester covered collection. There was only one choice. We'll talk about why you've made this choice in a minute, but this is Andrew Cushin covering Noel Gallagher's Dead in the Water, XS Manchester.
On the shore as the night is slipping through my hands, I fall into the sea like the empire built on the sand. I've been thinking about the days when we had no money. That photograph of you, well, it still seems funny. Trying to get back to the promised land. So don't walk away, love. There's never enough that can make me crash on the broken glass. Let the storm rage. I die on the waves, but I will not rest while love lies dead in the water. Dead in the water. I'm waiting for the calm as the storm is getting under my skin. And I'm trying to fix the hole in my head where the rain gets in. And it's dripping in my ear and it don't sound funny. I'm gonna take you out when I get some money. Trying to get back to the promised land. So don't walk away, love. There's never enough that can make me crash on the broken glass. Let the storm rage. I die on the waves, but I will not rest while love lies dead in the water. There's never enough that can make me crash on the broken glass. Let the storm rage. I die on the waves, but I will not rest while love lies dead in the water. Dead in the water. In the water. Dead in the water. So don't walk away, love. There's never enough that can make me crash on the broken glass. Let the storm rage. I die on the waves, but I will not rest while love lies dead in the water. Dead in the water. In the water. Dead in the water.
Noel Gallagher's Dead in the Water, as covered by Andrew Cushion, who's joined me on the Access Manchester Evening Show. Now, for those who don't know the story and why that is an obvious choice, can you tell us it?
18 months ago, so we're going to take away the pandemic and we're going to pretend that it's still 2020. Midway through 2018, I'd done my second ever gig. I was supporting a band from Newcastle. It was an Oasis tribute band, actually. And a lad came down to watch us called Lee, who's now my manager. Lo and behold, to me, back in his previous life living in London, he was friends with Noel Gallagher. Lee recorded one of the songs that I sing, which was Waiting for the Rain, which was my second single, and he sent it to Noel. To everybody's surprise, Noel got back in touch. He liked me stuff. We arranged to go meet him. He got us involved with the record label. You go 6 months on after that, and the first two singles, It's Gonna Get Better, Waiting for the Rain, it came out. And we were just planning to record Where's My Family Gone, which was the third single, and we emailed Noel asking if he could recommend any producers for it. To everybody's amazement, he offered to do it. And I'd like to think that we've built up quite a good bond and friendship since then. I've got Noel Gallagher in my contacts, and I know that he's there, if I ever need any advice on music or if I ever need any advice, on life in general. He's definitely been somebody that's inspired us, not only in music, but, since I've met him. He's a top man. I owe him a lot. So yeah, I just thought I'd go with that. And I think it's quite fitting as well. It's a little bit of a tribute to, everything that Noel's done for us.
What's that feel like? A man with the status and experience of Noel Gallagher, not just saying, you're right, kid, you got some potential here, but actually going, I want to work with you. I think you've got so much talent that I want to be involved in a project that you're working on.
Well, do you know what, mate? It's like, again, it goes back to what we were talking about before. I am trying not to think about it because it would drive us mental. Do you know what I mean? I've done something at the age of 20 that artists in their 60s, in their 70s that have been going their whole life, would have dreamt of doing something with somebody as iconic as Noel Gallagher. He's just class. I am going to refrain from, licking his back end anymore. But he is a really, really special bloke.
Was there any reservations about working with him? Because I noticed when you released Where's My Family Gone, he kind of he wasn't like featuring Noel Gallagher or anything, which I think a few artists might have made a bigger deal out of going, well, we've got Noel Gallagher on this. But was there kind of almost like a consideration that you didn't want him to overshadow you didn't want. He produces it. He's done backing vocals, plays shakers on it, whatever it is he does. There was almost a case of like you don't want him to be the reason people are listening to the record.
You know, I think, and I always respect Noel for this, because he could have marketed himself quite well here by saying, you know, he's helped out this local lad from Newcastle who was brought on a council estate, all the rest of it. He's trying to give him a chance. And he didn't. He was purely doing it for the satisfaction of helping out somebody that he believed had talent. Of course, the conversation came up, you know, would you like this song to be Andrew Cushin featuring Noel Gallagher? And he said no, because it would take away from me writing the song, which, you know, first and foremost, that's what happened. You know, there was a lot of people who thought, you know, has Noel written this song? You know, I wrote this song in a hotel room before I went to a gig. You know, it was one of them songs that took 20 minutes. So I think that was a lot of respect from him in the sense that, you know, he wanted to keep the song purely, you know, mine.
Going to play your new single, your acoustic version you've recorded for us, Memories, in just a second. But it's been a pleasure to talk to you, Andrew. Before I let you go, what are we going to see from you in 2021? What's the rest of the year got in store?
So we've got an assortment of festivals, which I can't wait to get on. Obviously, I've got a band and stuff with us now. So anybody that comes to watch us, there'll be another couple of ugly so-and-sos on the stage with us. We do have a tour starting in September. We're playing Leeds, London. We have got a gig in Manchester, which is 75% sold out, I believe. So if anybody wants to go get tickets for that, that'll be good. Hopefully we can just build on the hype and on the vibe that we're kind of creating prior to lockdown. Hopefully it catches fire, but if it doesn't, I'm already enjoying myself. We'll just see what happens.
Plenty more to come, man. Really looking forward to hearing more from you as well. We're going to hear Andrew Cushin's stripped back version of his new single Memories now. But Andrew, really appreciate your time on XS Manchester.
No worries, Paul. Thank you very much for having us on.
Never lost it all, 'cause I never had it all. I never lost my way. You know you'll never hear me say that I'm stood ready to fall. I never lost my faith. Maybe shit's still running late. I never lost my time. Won't you pour me one more wine? We'll pretend life is great. But what is a man and what can he do? And what is a plan if he won't do what he knew? Ground me a line so the memories can fill my mind. Take away my time so the days can just pass me by. Never lost my mind. I've never been that way inclined. You'll never hear me say, you know you'll never hear me pray. Ain't no truth I can find. But what is a man? What is a plan if he won't do what he knew? Ground me a line so the memories can fill my mind. take away my time, so the days can just pass me by.